Marketing, sales, and service seniors, welcome back to another brilliant lecture on the slide deck for Chapter 10. This is a series that we are doing for the Marketing 1 Precision exams. We've already covered Chapter 7 and 9, and now we're going into 10, which has to do with product and product mix, talking about consumers with the products and the new product development cycle. So let's get into it. Once again, we're going to go over vocabulary terms which you already have done pairings for in a separate Nearpod, and this is designed as a way to answer the checkpoint questions within the video. So there you go. So in Chapter 10, what we'll be going over is in 10.1, we're going to start with a product. 10.2, components of the product mix. 10.3 is going to cover products for consumers and businesses, and 10.4 is the new product development. So starting with 10.1, 10.1.1, we're going to explain how customers view products. In 10.1.2, we're going to describe how marketers keep a consumer focus during product development. Okay, so a definition of product is this: anything tangible a business offers to a market to satisfy customer needs. Tangible meaning you can touch it. Okay, so it's a focus on the customer. Details about that part of it can be found on page 275. So 10.1.1 covers pages 274 and 275 and parts of 276. So the first checkpoint question is, how does a consumer's view of a product tend to differ from that of the business that sells it? So we will pause here so that you can answer that question. Moving on to section 10.1.2, we're going to talk about product development as a marketing function. So the product development process is this: you gather information first, you design strategies, and then you conduct market tests. The product planning function, you can find information about that starting on page 277 and ending on 278 in your textbook. And so the checkpoint question, which you will need to read the textbook to get the most amount of information for, is this: what are 3 important roles for marketers in the product development process? And we will pause here so that you may go read the information in your textbook from pages 278 and before. And moving on to the next section. 10.2 has to do with the components of the product mix. So in 10.2.1, we're going to talk about and describe the parts of the product mix element. And section 10.2.2, we're going to discuss the 3 steps of the product design process. And in section 10.2.3, we're going to explain the importance of product lines, packaging, and brand development. So here we go. The parts of the product mix elements are these. And again, we're in section 10.2.1, so we're talking about basic product, we're talking about features, we're talking about options, we're talking about services, branding, packaging, and a guarantee or testimonial. Details of all of these things can be found in the pages 280 and 281. So checkpoint for sections 10.2.1 is this: why does developing even a simple product involve so many decisions? You need to read pages 280 and 281 in order to be informed on the answer for this question. I will pause now so that you may go find that answer and give me a correct answer. Moving on to section 10.2.2, so the levels of the product design. So we're talking about pages 281 and 282, and you're going to find detailed information about these 3 things: basic product, the enhanced product, and the extended product. So this next checkpoint question, you will need to have those 2 pages in the textbook readily available and read so that you can answer this question here: name the levels of product design. We'll pause here so that you may go gather information and give me a wonderful correct answer. Moving on to the next section. So these are the product mix components. Definition for term product line is this: a group of similar products with slight variations in the marketing mix to satisfy different needs in a market. So the variation could be in quantity or size, or the variation could be in quality. So for instance, let's talk about consumer refrigerators. You have large brands like Maytag who make really top-end models, but then they also have an off-brand name, same manufacturer, but it's going to satisfy a different set of consumers who are, different quality and different price points. So you can think of it that way. Another definition that we need to know is product assortments, and so that's the complete set of all products a business offers to its market. So in this case, when we're talking about like Maytag makes way more than just refrigerators. They make washers and dryers and other appliances as well. So the product assortment would include all of those. All right, so product mix components. Let's talk about the packaging side of things. So the things that you're looking to do with packaging is there should be ease of use, there should be safety, it should be attractive. Handling it should be something that is simple and easy, and companies are a lot of times have the environment in mind as far as packaging is concerned. And again, 10.2.3 covers pages 283, 284, and 285, and even parts of 286 and 287. Brand development is next. So we have a lot of terms under brand development. So the term brand definition is this: it's a name, symbol, or design that identifies a product, service, or company. A trademark. The definition of trademark is the legal protection provided to the owner for the words or symbols used to identify a product or service. Brand loyalty. Definition of brand loyalty is a consumer's commitment to repurchasing, using, and even promoting a particular brand over all others. So that could include a family brand as well. And then last term on this section is licensed brand, and this is a well-known name or symbol established by one company and sold for use by another company to promote its products. So here are the levels of brand recognition in a table. So you've got your non-recognition, you've got your recognition, you've got your preference, and then you've got insistence. Like consumers are just like, I will only buy this brand and no other. A lot of times you can talk about cell phones, so pretty much you have your Android versus your Apple consumers. Okay, so checkpoint for 10.2.3 is this: name the 4 product mix components. I'm going to pause this video now so that you may gather that information in section 10.2.3. Okay, moving on to sections 10.3. So the main things that we'll talk about in the umbrella of products for consumers and businesses is this. In section 10.3.1, we're going to define consumer markets, and in section 10.3.2, we're going to describe the categories of business products. Okay, so term consumer markets. A consumer market is this: it's an individuals or socially related groups who purchase products for personal consumption. So here is your checkpoint question already. Short section can be found on pages 288 and 288 it looks like. So what are consumer markets? I'll pause this video so you can get that answer on page 288. Moving on, let's talk about business markets in section 10.3.2. So business markets, the definition is this: companies and organizations that purchase products for the operation of a business or the completion of a business activity. So definitely different than the consumer market. Business product classifications are a totally different classification than consumers. And so this could involve capital equipment, operating equipment, the supplies needed for that particular business to operate, raw materials, and component parts. So really you can think about manufacturers in this world here. So 10.3.2 covers pages 289 and 290 and parts of 291. And so the checkpoint question for this section is this: what are the 5 categories in the business product classification system? I'll pause this video now so that you may review that information in the textbook pages provided. Okay, moving on to section 10.4, which is the last, and the things that we'll talk about as far as new product development is concerned is this. 10.4.1 covers this. We're going to describe the different ways businesses define new products, and then in section 10.4.2 we'll describe the 6 steps in new product development. Okay, so what is a new product? So section 10.4.1, which covers pages 292 and parts of 293, we're going to talk about what a new product is, and the definition is this: a product that is entirely new or changed in an important and noticeable way. Blue Nation Student Store, our brand new product coming out really soon here in the next few weeks, the Bullard Brew Coffee in partnership with One Coffee. Alright, checkpoint question. And it is this: when is a product considered to be new? And you will definitely be able to answer that question if you review page 292 and 293 in your textbook, and I will pause now so that you can do so. Moving on, the steps that are in new product development, and you're going to need to get the detailed information for these ideas on pages 293 and 294 and 295. And lastly, pages 296. So this right here will definitely need information from the textbook itself, but you're going to read in sections in the textbook about the idea development stage, the idea screening, the strategy development, and then the financial analysis part of new product development. So, product development and testing, you have prototype, and the definition of that is a model product used to test quality and cost before beginning full-scale production. So we do a little bit of that now that we have all the components for making t-shirts and stickers in our classrooms. So if we make one t-shirt as a prototype so that we can see how it looks on the shirt, the colors, the type of shirt, and that sort of thing. Test market. Definition is a limited quantity of a new product is produced and the marketing mix is implemented in a small part of the market. So we could even think of this as when we do something for a club in a way, so that we can just kind of test out like the quality of a certain blank shirt or just a new way of designing something. We could actually use that as a test market. And then folded into that is product marketing as well. So checkpoint for 10.4.2, we're going to name the 6 activities in the new product development process. I will pause the video now so that you may go find that information in the textbook pages that were from 296 and before. And that's it. That is chapter 10, and that is part 3 of 6 in this series that's going to get us ready for not only our final exam for this class, but for the Marketing 1 Precision Exam certification process. All right, I'll see you next time when we discuss Chapter 15.